Hello and welcome. My name is Shauna, and I'm a faculty development and coaching specialist at UAGC. I will be the host of this session, Library Anxiety, helping students overcome their research fears. By joining us today, you acknowledge that this session is being recorded and will be shared with TLC-related materials. Microphones will be muted for this presentation, but we encourage you to post questions and comments in the chat. Also, we have enabled live transcription. If you would like to use it, click the live transcription button at the bottom of your Zoom window. Now, I am pleased to introduce you to Anna and Allison.
Hey there, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for Library Anxiety, helping students overcome their research fears. My name is Anna Uribe. I'm lead instruction librarian and liaison for doctoral programs and the Academic Engagement Center at the University of Arizona Global Campus. And today I am joined by my co-presenter and colleague, Allison McDermott. Allison is our reference services librarian and the liaison to the College of Arts and Science. So our goal today is to provide answers to the following questions. What is library anxiety? How does it affect students? And what can we do about it? So what is library anxiety exactly? We know that many different emotions like stress and anxiety can affect academic performance. Let's start by getting an overview of the factors of library anxiety that distinguish it from other issues such as technophobia or information overload. So with a name like library anxiety, you might think that this is a contemporary framework, but it was actually codified over 35 years ago in Constant Mellon's seminal work, Library Anxiety, A Grounded Theory and Its Development. One of the most concise definitions I've found for the concept of library anxiety is a fear of the library and of using it to find research materials that may also extend to librarians and other staff members. Now, you may be asking, if this has been around since the 80s, it's probably old news, right? Well, that answer would be no. While library anxiety has persisted among students, the components look different in today's digital learning environment. Contemporary studies of this issue show a growth in components such as the information search process and comfort with library technology. So I'd like to offer up some examples of the modern components of library anxiety. So number one, comfort and confidence when using the library. So coming from a student, this might sound like, oh, gosh, I don't even know where to begin, or I've never used an online library before. I got my master's degree in the 80s, and now I'm doing a PhD program online. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, information search process and general library anxiety. So as a librarian, I hear this a lot. It sounds like I'm so frustrated. I tried to enter my search question into Library One Search and my results have nothing to do with what I'm researching. Okay, number three, barriers concerning staff. This might sound like the last library tutor I worked with wasn't helpful at all, so I don't use tutoring anymore. Number four, importance of understanding how to use the library. To me, this sounds like I need to be able to find peer-reviewed articles because I need to get a good grade on this assignment. All right, number five, comfort level with technology as it applies to the library. I think this reason is the main reason that students will choose the devil they know, Google, over the library a lot of the time. And finally, number six, comfort level inside the library building. I like to think of our library website as our building. So while our students may not need to browse through stacks of shelves, they do need to know how to find their way to the right databases and tools for research. So now that you've got an idea of what some components of library anxiety look like and sound like, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little pop quiz and see if you can match a student's scenario with the library anxiety factor that they're experiencing. Okay, so I'll go ahead and launch our poll. So I'm going to go ahead and launch here. So this, for the following scenario, tell me if you can spot what specific library anxiety the student's going through. So in this scenario, I'm a student and I'm saying, look, I tried plugging in my keywords to the advanced search, but my results are terrible. What am I doing wrong? Okay, great. So we're gonna keep those answers coming in. We're about 38% participation. I'd love it if we could get up to like 60 or 70. Awesome. We're at about 64%. I'll go ahead and end it. Oh, 71. Perfect. Thank you so much. And share the results. So excellent job, everyone. So this information search process in general, library anxiety, is probably the best fit for this answer. Although saying comfort level inside the library building, it could be like, I've never done an advanced search before. I don't know how to I've never seen a web page that even looks like it. So these things can definitely overlap, but for the I would say C is probably the best answer. So thanks so much for participating, gang. I'll go ahead and end that and we'll keep on keeping on here. Okay. So you know the causes of library anxiety. Now let's look at its effect on our students. According to the Salem Encyclopedia of Health, library anxiety is described as a state anxiety, meaning it's linked to a situation rather than traits of individuals affected. So no matter how at risk or resilient a student may be, if they're ever doing library research, which hopefully they will be doing, it's very likely that you're going to see some of these affective and cognitive effects. All right, so since this is an emotional phenomena, let's start by looking at the affective impacts, which can be surprisingly varied. Some of the negative emotions experienced with library anxiety include feelings of intimidation, shame, inferiority, and inadequacy. In his 2021 article, Institutional Literacy in Libraries, Addressing Library Anxiety with a Personal Librarian Program, Brad Dorkson found that the underlying causes of this intimidation included general phobia of or hatred for libraries, feelings of inadequacy or bewilderment, the overwhelming size of university libraries, and a confusing or unfamiliar layout. The second and third bullet points here are really kind of the most heartbreaking in my little librarian's opinion. I don't know, I heard this concept referred to just today in one of our presentations at TLC as hidden curricula, right? Students show up and we sort of expect them to know this, and that's really not fair at all. So it's this false belief that they should already know how to use a library and how to research in it effectively. But the real shame in this is that, they're not knowing this, which is totally understandable, creates this fear that someone might find out that they don't know. All right, so we'll keep on keeping on here. So as if dealing with these very unpleasant emotions weren't enough, library anxiety also impacts cognitive ability. So whether it's simply sitting down to brainstorm some keywords, wrestling with the database search strategies, selecting 2 or 3 required scholarly resources you need for an assignment from a set of 50,000 search results, or figuring out just even how to open an article so you can download it or cite it or read it, library anxiety can occur at any of these stages within the research process. So once you're in a state of library anxiety, students are going to have a difficult time remembering the search skills they may have used successfully in the past. The chances for implementing a new research technique or even discovering a useful time-saving database feature are lessened as well. Okay, and with that, I'll go ahead and pass the baton on to Allison to share the academic effects of library anxiety.
Thank you, Anna. So not surprisingly, library anxiety can impact a student's academic performance in the following ways. According to an article written on the subject in 2021 by Arkbard, students can feel library anxiety when they cannot get relevant information from the library's information sources, or they can't use the technology of the library. This can include databases, catalogs, or even the library interfaces. This results in students feeling anxious about performing research and using the library. This is making them more likely to put off doing these tasks, thus procrastinating and leaving their research to the very last minute, which I'm sure we're all experienced with students, right? This not only results in lower library use, but also lower grades and graduation rates. And students are more likely to thus drop out and not complete their degrees. And with that, we're going to open up another poll and talk about the impact of library anxiety on students. And let me get my poll up and running. So in this scenario, just find the best match for the impact library anxiety has on students. So for this student, every time I try to use the library, I completely panic and I'm unable to do any research. I feel like a deer in headlights. Okay, we're at 78%. I'm going to end the poll. So yeah, this is interesting. We have pretty 50-50 with A and B, but this would most likely fall into cognitive because a lot of times students will just freeze, right? They know what they're supposed to do, but they just completely panic and they're not sure. But you know, it also affective and academic are also good answers too. So I'm going to stop sharing. And we'll continue on. So next slide, Anna. So what can we do to help students overcome their library anxiety? Well, let's start by looking at what the university is doing to support students. Requiring students to take a credit-bearing information literacy course is one of the best ways a university can support students learning how to navigate the university's library and develop the research skills they will need to successfully complete college coursework. UAG is accomplishing this by making all incoming bachelor students take Gen 103. This is a big deal since only 19% of colleges and universities have credit-bearing information literacy courses. Another way to support students is by having a live learning component in their course, which Gen 103 also provides. These live learning sessions are great because they not only give students opportunities to learn how to use the library and perform college level research, but it also gives them an opportunity to connect with their faculty and their peers and realize they're not alone in their questions about the library and how to do research. The UAGC librarians attend these sessions when we can, and this helps put a face to the librarian on the other side of the reference interaction. You know, it shows them we're not these mean librarians who don't want to hear from them. We want to hear from students and help them. So what is the library doing to support students? Well, the UAGC librarians are here to support students with their library and research needs at any time. And we can be contacted in the following ways. For students who need immediate assistance, we have 24/7 library tutoring. And this is where students can talk to a real life librarian anytime they need assistance, even at 3 a.m. And then we also have phone reference, and this is available Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If that wasn't enough, students, if they have time to wait for a response or real-time support is just not for them, you know, we all know the world we're living in, right? I'd rather chat or text somebody than speak to a real life person. We got you covered. So students can email us at library@staff.uagc.edu. And then they also have the option to send us a message through our quick answer platform. They're able to locate an answer to their question on this platform. They can send a message directly to us. Or if they're experiencing technical issues, they can send us a message through our troubleshooting guide. And if they've gone through the whole guide and they're still stuck, that's the perfect time to send us a message. These messages are answered within 1 business day, and information on how to access all these supports is available on the library's homepage. We also provide students with resources to help them use the library and find the information they need with our amazing DIY, do-it-yourself resources available on the library's homepage. These resources include Library U, which provides students access to short videos and tip sheets, tutorials regarding how to best utilize the library. Resources include topics such as how to conduct research within the library, use a specific database, or find a specific article if they have a citation. And all these resources are ADA accessible. And then quick answers. And this provides students with immediate answers to the library's most frequently asked questions. And students can access this site either through the library or using the link on the screen right here. And as mentioned previously, if their question is already in the answer, they have the option of submitting that question directly to us. And lastly, we have research guides, and this helps students with their work in specific programs and courses. And these guides contain useful resources such as recommended databases, ebooks, professional organizations and associations, as well as library tutorials to help them in their courses. So how can faculty support students and help them overcome their library anxiety? They can do this providing a culture of care. Be an advocate for your students and encourage them to utilize the library and leverage the librarians for support. Studies have found that students were far more likely to ask a librarian for help when their instructor, rather than a librarian, encouraged them to do so. Integrating research into your courses and providing supporting resources such as tip sheets and tutorials to help students complete the research component of their assignment is a great way to curb library anxiety. Remember that your library liaison is here to support you in integrating research into courses during the curriculum development process and beyond. From here, we're going to do our last poll. Let me launch that. And here's our third poll. And just to select the best solution or resource available to alleviate students' library anxiety. My paper is due tonight, and I need help using the library to find 2 scholarly, peer-reviewed sources. Where can I go for help? Okay, we're at 71%, 78%. So I'm going to end the poll and share, and you guys are amazing. Yes, that is 100% true. Students should definitely just reach out if it's due tonight, 24/7 library tutoring, or if the phone hours are still going on, they can talk to one of our lovely librarians. So to wrap things up, we've put together a curated list of tutorials and infographics for you to share with students. So next time a student reaches out to you in distress over the library, take a moment to determine what type of library anxiety they're going through and consider sharing the corresponding resources. This is just a small sample of the library resources available. And if you need something different, please reach out. Your librarians are here to help you. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yes, they are, Jessie. I uploaded the slides as a PDF in Whova, and so you should be able to search within the TLC event and be able to get that. Yeah, so that you can get those links that we put together for you. Thank you, Felicia. I saw your comment too about the DIY supports, and as we all know, with a lot of our students, when we're leaning more into andragogy than pedagogy, a lot of our adult learners, they're self-motivated, they want to do it on their time. They have an inclination to kind of seek out an answer for themselves before they may even reach out to anyone to ask a question. So I think that's why DIY supports are such a great fit for so many of our learners.
Exactly. I'm always pushing DIY stuff.
Yeah.
And thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate you too as well. We love our faculty. You guys.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Can't say yeah, you guys are great. You guys are
Yeah. And essential to the library, because as Allison mentioned in our presentation, students are more likely to come to us if you vouch for us. If you say, hey, go check out the library. It's, studies have shown that students are more likely to use us if you vouch for us and hype us up. And I've definitely heard from a lot of students, just anecdotally in my own reference, that, my faculty member told me to get a hold of you. They said, I got sent here by a faculty member. When you tell them to do stuff, they listen.
Exactly. And it's so just heartwarming to get students on the phone a lot of times.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to just be so mean and like this was going to be a stupid question, but you're so nice and this is so helpful. So yeah, definitely have students reach out to us. We love it. We love to hear from them.
And I noticed one thing I think I kind of left out in my part of the presentation is that just having empathy and acknowledging that library anxiety, it's an actual thing. Like, it's something that people put a lot of scholarly research into. It's not just, one individual's, a lack of a certain skill set or anything like that at all. Like, this is a widespread, very typical experience probably for most people who've ever done research. So just letting folks know, like, hey, this is normal. It's normal to get a little stressed out. You're not alone. It's okay, but let's get you back on. Let's get you feeling better and get this studying over with so you can get back to your life.
Amen.
Yeah. Thank you, Verna Chill. I'm so glad. Thanks so much for coming.
Well, thank you so much, Anna and Allison. What a fantastic presentation. Such great information. I know that all of our faculty, staff, students appreciate everything you do for all of us. Such a tremendous support and resource for us all. And thank you to our audience for your participation in today's session. Everybody enjoy the rest of TLC.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.